Italy is one of the most fascinating economies in the world because it is facing most, if not all, of the major economic challenges that other countries around the world are experiencing, and it is somehow dealing with them all at the same time. The country has some of the highest levels of national debt globally, an aging population, an exodus of the few remaining young skilled workers, and it grapples with regional inequalities, sluggish growth, unreliable tax revenues, and the decline of its once world-leading industries. Italy also serves as an amazing case study as a country that has dealt with problems like globalization, French shoring, and restricted trade, causing concern among countries such as the USA, Russia, China, the Gulf states, and, of course, Europe itself. Many of these uncertainties are challenges that Italy has been facing for at least 2 decades, and that's part of the reason why the country has been in economic decline for 15 years. While it might sound negative, it is a situation that, on one hand, the economy is navigating, and on the other hand, has resulted in some of the highest rates of poverty in the European Union, a collection of countries usually associated with relative wealth compared to most of the world. Even if the similarities are not perfect, there is a lot that economists can learn from these challenges. Beyond just being a great insight into what the future of our own economies may look like, Italy has some truly fascinating economic features that are worth exploring individually, if for no other reason than they're just really interesting. Italy, together with Germany and France, makes up over half of the total economic output of the European Union, a union that collectively forms the second largest operating economy in the world. Despite this already quite impressive scale, Italy's economy might really be much bigger than its government would like to admit. In recent years, the black market has been responsible for as much as a quarter of Italy's total economic output, and while the logical assumption here would be to think about the mafia, the reality is even stranger and more interesting. So, to understand all that Italy's economy can teach us, we must, as always, answer a few simple questions. How did one of the fastest-growing advanced economies in the world just stop growing almost instantly? Not once, not twice, but 3 times? What has the country done right and wrong when dealing with its long list of challenges? Who was really to blame for the country's economic stagnation? How has Italy been impacted by a unique form of destructive inequality? And finally, is the country's economic model just incompatible with the new global environment it finds itself in? Italy has had its fair share of economic scandals in the last few years, but you might not know what's actually going on if you only read a few news sources or rely on social media algorithms to tell you what's going on. The Italian economy peaked in 2008 and has since experienced a slow decline, losing about 20% of its nominal economic output over the past decade. However, this trend of stagnation is not new to Italy, dating back to the end of World War II. The country has gone through decades of rapid growth, interspersed with almost complete stagnation and, in some cases, negative growth, before resuming growth. Italy's economic history traces back to its post-World War II reconstruction, aided by the United States, as the country was rebuilt from the ashes of war. The massive U.S. investment through the Marshall Plan aimed to rebuild Western Europe and create strong allies to counter communist influence. While these reconstruction efforts led to a long period of growth, underlying political tensions resulted in serious domestic issues, such as the 1980 bombing of the Bologna railway station. Despite economic production figures suggesting success, the challenge for Italy was to sustain development and generate sustainable value for the domestic economy and export markets. After the slowdown in construction and reconstruction efforts, Italy's economy entered its first modern decade of stagnation, lasting only about 6 years but revealing significant structural challenges within the Italian economy. During this period, the Italian government faced challenges such as mass unemployment, a large debt burden, high inflation, and external challenges, including rising energy costs for the fossil fuels on which its young industries had become heavily dependent. Despite being tough situations, economic slowdowns provide opportunities for a country to reshape policies and reduce industries that caused problems. During this initial stagnation, Italy underwent a restructuring, moving away from just building infrastructure and focusing more on using that infrastructure to create products for global sales. Reforms were implemented, such as granting independence to its central bank, allowing it to raise interest rates to combat inflation, while also relaxing laws on wage indexation. Although wage indexation is uncommon today due to the market problems it can cause, its application means that wages keep up with inflation regardless of what was agreed upon in employment contracts. However, this accelerates a dangerous process in the economy known as the wage price spiral. The stagnation was painful for Italy, but by forcing necessary changes, the country returned as one of the fastest growing economies in history, tripling its economic output in an export-led industrial boom between 1985 and 1992. Italy's reputation for quality and skill in producing goods, from fast cars to luxury handbags and even items like olive oil, gives the country a unique advantage in the international market. International customers pay a premium for made-in-Italy products, making them more expensive than competitors from other countries. This ability to add value to products within the country's borders is a significant advantage enjoyed by few countries around the world. The periods of rapid economic growth in Italy were followed by underlying problems, including increased debt due to irresponsible loans, tax evasion, and difficulties in taxing small industries. To join the Eurozone, Italy had to clean up its fiscal situation and reduce debt, which, while necessary, slowed economic growth. After adopting the euro in 1999, Italy experienced a brief decline followed by another period of rapid growth, becoming one of the fastest-growing advanced economies. However, crises like the GFC and the Eurozone crisis led to a new phase of stagnation, which has now lasted almost 15 years. Current challenges include an aging population, low birth rate, brain drain of young graduates, and an economy based on unproductive small businesses. The lack of investment in technology and the significant presence of the black market are also obstacles. Italy faces complex dilemmas, such as the need to attract foreign investment, deal with the brain drain of talented young Italians, modernize its small businesses, and reduce informality in the economy. The current economic scenario is challenging, with high unemployment rates, stagnant growth, an aging population, and limitations on the ability to control its own currency. All of this has been a tremendous challenge for Italy, which sees no viable solution to all these problems. What is your opinion on this Italian crisis? Can you see any way out? Leave your comments, along with your like and subscription, it helps us a lot. Thank you for watching until the end. See you in the next video.